Hey everyone, warm welcome to the summary of the Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom, April 2021. The Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom is a meeting I'm hosting since a year now via Zoom, and people I know are coming together to exchange their wisdom and their insights about a topic that I'm choosing or that a participant is asking for. And I decided that I will share something, some main points of those gatherings publicly, and of course our meetings stay private, and the information that we share is private, but the general points that I normally have a little presentation that I'm starting our meetings with to get the creative juices flowing and to trigger some insights and some wisdom. And last month, it was the first month I shared what we were talking about, the topic, and last month the topic was unexpected. And actually we had cliffhanger last month in our personal discussion because while we were talking, I was asking a participant how come that the inner child is never getting older somehow. It always stays the same age, kind of. And she said, yeah, that would be a great topic for next month. So the topic for this month, for April, is now Forever Young. And I find that the inner child is really, really key for our own journey and our healing. And I will go into screen sharing mode now and share with you some slides I have prepared. For this topic, it is more about sharing personal experiences, and as I said, they are staying, of course, private. I will not talk about them in the public presentation, but anyways, this might trigger some insights for you. Maybe you want to talk with your friends about it, or you just want to have a little self-talk about it and ponder a little bit about the topic, or if you want to share some insights, just comment below in the comment section. Okay, so let's see, going into screen sharing mode. Okay, so here we go. Okay, the Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom, as I said, we are gathering once a month. And you have to be invited for that to join the Zoom meetings where we are sharing. So it is a safe space for people where they can trust to share openly. Okay. So I said how we came to the topic, Forever Young. It has to do with the inner child always staying young. And yeah, the Roundtable of Tribal Wisdom is the tribe, counseling the tribe. And it is not any hierarchy, anything like that, because everyone that is coming to the table is seen as a natural and therefore sovereign infinite being and is treated with love, honor, and respect. We always meet the third Sunday in a month. And in case you want to throw me a personal message, here's the email, roundtable@natalieesser.com. Okay, so yeah, starting with a little joke. You can't stay young forever, but you can be immature for the rest of your life. And actually, sometimes being immature is really fun. And yeah, the inner child that never grows up. And yeah, the answer is don't grow up. It's a trap. And yeah, what makes kids actually so special? From my point of view and my experience is that really young kids, for me, it is around the age of 3 or 4, where we start to adjust more to society. But until that point, children are very, very much connected still to their own heart, soul, essence. And I'm all about heart and soul. And there is this kind of really purity that is coming with that, and having this heart connection, that is what is opening our hearts so much when we are in contact with children. And I have heard about some studies. Actually, this was when I did research for a book a few years ago, and that book was actually about economy and society. And there were researchers who found out something really interesting about little children. Little children are naturally helpful. If they see, for example, an adult who is carrying lots of stuff and therefore has trouble to open the door, little children will help you without thinking about it. That's being helpful is actually really, really natural. Also, you're having your arms full and something's falling down, small child will start to assist you and pick it up until that's the interesting part. When the whole reward and punishment comes in, that is actually how we are corrupting ourselves. If you start to reward and punish children, they will lose this, that they are wanting to assist and help. And also, children are learning to lie. By coincidence, last week I was overhearing an interview at a radio station, and where a scientist was that is specialized on kids, and made a study about when children are starting to lie. And she said that kids are intentionally starting to lie, really with making a plot to really mislead someone. This starts around the age of 4 or 5. And you can have a 2-year-old child that might lie, but the intention behind is very different. It is, for example, if the child realizes it gets into trouble by being honest. For example, did you take the cookie? And then the child feels, no, I didn't take the cookie. Here you have again this reward and punishment. Their children start to lose their honesty, but it is not the conscious decision to mislead someone else. This normally starts at an age of 4 or 5, not before. So it's really interesting that we come in quite pure, really. And also something we did already talk a little bit about in our personal roundtable meeting last month is that little children have really special skills and abilities, and they drop them to adjust. And I personally know for example, I was able to hear electricity. I could hear electricity. And I mentioned that to a friend, and she said, yes, she can still hear that. But I realized some things that my surrounding wasn't seeing or hearing. And so I felt I don't want to be different from them. And because being an outsider wasn't a good thing, so I dropped them. And actually, most people, if they think about it, had abilities that were natural to them that they simply dropped. And we often hear stories of little kids that can see auras or remember past lives, or they are able to talk to their pets and have invisible friends and all of that. That is seen as paranormal or something like that. But actually, this is what is normal. We are really limiting ourselves to adjust to society. And I think that is something that is a little bit sad. And later, people pay tons of money to go to some extra training and having teachers to learn that again, what actually has been a natural skill to them, for example, seeing auras. And yeah, little children are naturally joyful and energized. They are so alive and beaming with their life force. It's just, shining out of them. And the older we get, the more we are really having a hard time motivating ourselves. And that is, of course, just in general. There are people who are able to keep themselves young somehow, even if they are really old, because they are kind of able to stay this joyful and energized being. And that has, again, to do with our heart connection and our inner child. And also kids, they don't know. So they are very open and curious. And that is something that makes it really beneficial to reconnect with our inner child, to regain this openness and curiosity. And I am using this, for example, in people often ask me for advice, and it is by emptying myself and being connected with my heart and soul that I find the solution. Someone who believes to know it all, they are actually limiting themselves. And if you need to find a solution for an unusual issue, it is actually often very, very helpful to look at it as if we have never seen it before. And this is actually kind of a genius gene that we can develop when we are able to stay in this open and curious mindset. Look at things as if we look at them for the first time. And yeah, this is opening up new worlds and new solutions for old problems. Yeah. Really important is the inner child for any kind of healing work. And on my own journey, this has been really an important part of my journey. And I have met a kahuna. Kahunas are Hawaiian shamans. I have met a kahuna a few years ago and was asking her for advice and for something. And she has been really, she has been telling me to really go on this journey to, she gave me a different perspective on my own life. One thing was that she told me that nothing that ever happened to me was because I deserved something bad or because of bad karma or anything like that. She told me all that you have experienced, you only experienced because you needed to have the understanding and the compassion to be a teacher and healer, and that this would be, my journey and my calling for this lifetime. And she really encouraged me to go on that journey. And she then gave me some healing work for my inner child. And she told me that when we have been in more tribe-like communities, we have welcomed our children in a loving way, and that this doesn't happen in modern society and in Western society. And I for sure wasn't welcomed when I was born. And so she gave me homework, and I'm sharing this here because this might be helpful for some of you. She told me to take a picture of me as a very, very young child, the earliest picture I find, and to look at myself every morning and every evening and to tell myself, you are magnificent. You were born magnificent. You carry the love and the light of the Creator inside of you. And you can change the wording however this feels appropriate for you. But doing this over a period of time, I don't know, I think I did it for 2 months in a row, every morning, every evening, was really changing my relationship with myself, as I have felt that I was not welcomed and accepted. It was really important for me on my own healing journey to give this to myself, what I didn't receive. And I really think it's crucial to do this healing work with the inner child, because from this point on, the inner child is actually helping us to heal our other aspects of ourselves, to become whole again, and to bring home what has been, kind of split and suppressed and not been integrated in our being. And the inner child is then really helping us on our healing journey. At least that's been the case for me and many people I know. So just to inspire you. And that is a beautiful picture that I found on the internet. And I wasn't allowed to be this creative, joyful being, but we are never too old to do that. And we can have wrinkles and still bring back this, this attitude of curiosity and joy and openness, and creativity is really important, and can intentionally reconnect with this, ourselves. And in case we have not been allowed to do that, to now help us to express this and to give us the opportunities that we didn't have back then, because the adults have not been able to provide whatever we might have needed. And this is what I was feeling is important, to reconnect with the inner child, but also bringing the parts of our being that are mature, and to be the loving mother or father or caretaker for ourselves, and to make room in our life to give the inner child whatever it might have needed, because the inner child is having the key for our creativity, and really even having a little bit of a genius part inside of us. But the little child is also the one that has been restricted or traumatized, and that has not been allowed to express itself. And if we are not taking good care of that inner child, we will experience situations that have to do with the wounding of the inner child again and again in life. And of course, the inner child is so precious, but on the other hand, it is maybe having, trust issues developed, or it is too naive and people are taking advantage of us, or the inner child never learned to set boundaries. And so the adult us needs to step in to protect the inner child, where the inner child might have never felt accepted and loved. And therefore, we now have to step in to give to ourselves what we would have needed back then, and that we need to, become whole again and to evolve, so we can have the purity and joy and creativity of the child, but also the wisdom of the mature being that we are too. So, okay, I think that's been the most important parts. I'll have a look onto my notes. Really reconnect with the gifts that you brought in, because the gifts we brought in, they have often not been welcomed. As I said, we might have had special abilities, being very intuitive and sensitive, for example, and this has been suppressed or shunned in some way, or we have been shamed for this. And to really reconnect with those gifts, because we brought them with great intention. And now please take them back and take ownership of all that you are, and also of the things that people around you couldn't appreciate back then, but we can appreciate them now. Okay. So I hope you stay forever young, young at heart, and at the same time have the loving maturity and wisdom to, yeah, protect these very innocent parts of yourself. Okay. So please take good care. Until next time, your Natalie.